What's going on, everybody? Liam O'Reilly, Vermont Economic Realtor. Hope you're doing well. Recording this video from my living room as well. The office is out of heat. If you missed the last video, too cold to record there, so I'm here in my living room. Wanted to have more of a theoretical video today talking about the current state of the Vermont housing market, where what I'm seeing in the market on both the buy side and the sell side, and how you can find success either as a buyer or a seller. So as a seller right now, things have shifted. It's not necessarily any listing that gets put up with iPhone cameras at whatever price you want is going to get multiple offers and sell like that. That's not really happening these days. It's things have slowed down significantly from their all-time highs. Now, at the same time, things are still hot. There are still a lot of buyers out there. So, if you're a buyer, it probably feels pretty competitive, at least around Vermont. I mentioned in other videos that Vermont is the most competitive housing market in the country. Out of all the metro areas in the U.S. that Redfin tracks, Vermont is the most, or Burlington, Vermont is the most competitive in terms of percentage over list price offers are going, contingencies waived with your offer, etc. So if you're a buyer out there, my advice to you is to look for homes that have sat on the market for a little while. If you have homes in your price range now, depending on the price range that you're in, if you're looking under 300,000, then it's pretty. There's not a whole lot out there. There's not a whole lot around the Burlington area for under 300,000. You're in a pretty tough bind, and it's going to still be competitive, and you have to just take what you get. But if you can afford a little bit more than that, I would say to try to look for homes that have been on the market for a little while. We at Jerry Riley Real Estate, the company that I work for, we have a great condo listed on North Shore Drive in Burlington, which the condo's a little dated, but these North Shore condos are right on the lake, and there's hardly any inventory like that, and we have it listed for what I think is a reasonable price at 500,000. Obviously, we're representing the seller, so I do have a bias there where it's my company who's selling the property, but at the same time, condos that were renovated were selling for like 625 recently in this exact same complex, and lake frontage is tough. There's not a whole lot of lakefront inventory. This is a solid association. I mean, I think that is an overlooked property that could be a great opportunity if you're a buyer out there. Now, if you're a seller, I think as a seller, you have to shift your expectations. Hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. Come out with a reasonable price, I would say. I would not recommend overlisting your property. I think you really got to get your price dialed in, because they're not as crazy as they once were, and people aren't just paying whatever price you ask for your home. Their inventory is sitting for a little bit longer. People have a little bit more to look at. There's a little more options out there than we've seen in the past. But at the same time, it's still very competitive, and you are still going to get a good price for your property, assuming it's in reasonable shape. The layout makes sense. It's in a relatively desirable location. Then if you price it reasonably, your goal should try to be to get 2 or 3 offers. At least that's what I think you should do, in my opinion. Now, you could always take a different strategy and try to price it high and see if you get somebody to bite at that price, and then lower your number a little bit until you find the right buyer. But in my opinion, through that strategy, you're going to end up with a buyer who is paying under asking price and who has full contingencies in their contract, and then is going to probably negotiate further once the inspection report comes back, or once the septic report comes back. Whatever contingencies they have, they have grounds to negotiate. Whereas if you are able to generate 2 or 3 offers, you're going to get above list price. You're going to the buyers are more likely to waive contingencies in that point, and you're going to set yourself up for a better transaction. Now, on the buyer side, as I mentioned before, those homes that have sat for a little while, that have price reductions in them, those are good homes to target. Those are sellers that are a little bit more vulnerable, that have had their home sit on the market for a little while and want to get rid of it. but haven't gotten the price that they're looking for. And that's why I said on the seller side, it's important to come out with the the right price. So what's going on in the Vermont housing market right now? I mean, things are very competitive. There's still multiple offers, but it's slower than it was. And not every home is selling like that. Even solid homes. There are solid homes on the market, like that North Shore condo, or there's another condo that I have in mind in Colchester that was listed for like 425 or so. It's a solid condo, 2-car garage, 3 bed, I think 3 bathrooms. It's a good home, especially for a first time home buyer to purchase, but it's sat on the market for a little longer than I would expect. You know, there are there are great opportunities out there for buyers, and on the selling side, you just have to hope for multiple offers, price your property to get multiple offers, and if you don't get multiple offers, make sure that you have a strong realtor who will negotiate for you and push for every dollar you have, and not give more than you need to when it comes to contingencies and the inspection period and negotiations further along the line down down the road in your contract. But overall, if you price your home properly, you should sell in a reasonable amount of time, even if it's not that first weekend or the second weekend. Your property should sell in a reasonable amount of time. Um, and if you're looking to buy a home, I would say look for the homes that have sat on the market for the longest, or for at least a little while, that are in reasonable shape. I think that's the best opportunity right now. Um, yeah. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this video. Leave me a comment in the description. Are you currently in the Vermont housing market? Are you in a different home buying market? I'd be happy to hear about what your situation is. All my contact information is listed in the description. Feel free to reach out if you are looking to buy or sell a home here in Vermont. I'd be more than happy to help you. If you're looking in another state, I would be happy to find you a great realtor who knows what they're doing, so you have a smooth transaction either on the buy side or the sell side. Other than that, Liam O'Reilly, Vermont Economic Realtor, and I will see you guys in the next video.